All right, we are relatively live. Getting a late start. And I've been talking about maybe picking up a new display pen tablet and decided we're going to mess around with. In fact, I'll pick it up here. This old Wacom Intuos Pro that I've had forever. And I decided we're going to go ahead and give it a try and see how that goes. Um, oh, it's mad because I have the pen on the tablet. But yeah, we want to go ahead and see how this works. I need to get my Wacom driver up. There we go. All right. Got to make sure everything's working too. And it's gonna take a while getting used to that disconnect again. There we go. So that's working and that's not working. That's supposed to be the Alt button, but we'll get it working. It's all good. I thought I had it working earlier. I was in here setting up. I had to crawl under, unplug the cord to the other thing. The other thing, here's another problem with that. It took up several inputs, and that shit's always a pain in the ass when you've got something that takes up multiple inputs that you might actually need. Um, let's see. So I've got that set, so it'll do that. All right, I think it'll work. Now, we may end up picking up a newer just tablet. I think there are a couple of issues that I have with this thing. There's something that's nice, like the ability to, just use your tablet. I, it's really obvious when I'm streaming using And let's go to this screen. When I'm streaming using the graphic display tablet, it gets obvious because that's when I go in the hyper horrible posture mode. You know, I'm leaning in and looking at that thing. Where with this, I can treat it more like, you know, using a mouse and keyboard without all of the discomfort that, you know, you start to experience when you're using that mouse and keyboard. So hopefully we can get the transition adjustment done relatively quickly. All right, so we need that. I wanted to start putting bushes down today, right? Bushes, or let's just try bush. I know we pulled bushes up, but there. See, more came up taking the ES off. But let's see, what are we looking at here? Red bush. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. So I think we're going to start setting stuff in through here randomly. Um, and I think we're going to opt to do this. Because we did that, it decided to be ornery. So let's use our colorable bushes. So let's do those, that. They're pretty big, so we need to pull our size down a little bit. All right. So let's start getting this done. Now the only thing that I'm seeing that this thing doesn't want to work, it's got this I'm gonna so the tablet has this thing on it, the touch ring. And the touch ring does not appear to want to do exactly what we want it to do. I mean, that was the thing with the... Oh, wait a minute. It's working now. There we go. I had the hardest time getting this thing to work earlier, and I thought I had tested the zoom on there. The only other thing I can't force it to do is Control Z. But we shall see. Now this, I've had this for a while. This is what, the 651 Wacom tablet. I really do want that Control Z to work, but she just won't do it. See, this express key, yeah, you set keystroke, and so we'll keystroke here, Control Z, right? Say OK. Now, if it's going to work, do that. It should delete it. But no, it doesn't do it. But that's fine. But now we don't have to touch ring is really being a little bit glitchy. It's amazing because when we were using our XP pen, it did work a little bit better. But it's probably because this is a tablet, I think going back to like 2013. We might drop some trees along these ridges after we've got this stuff in. We'll see what we feel like doing. See, why is it? Now it's being ornery again. So we did get picked up that Dungeon Alchemist program and messed with it last night a little bit. It looks interesting, but it also looks like it needs a bit of work before I really start messing with making some maps for my actual gaming. Trying to make sure we just don't have like tree zones with no bushes or any other vegetation indicated. You know, there's always undergrowth in a forest. I may still drop a random lone tree or two around here, but Trying to get that tip set so that we barely have to tap to get our placement here for these things. Are we not seeing our selection? I don't think we want to go above 0.4. Don't like that horseshoe bush. Where is that coming from? This one? Let's get rid of that. I hate that bush. It always gets angry with us when we make any changes. I feel like we're going to need to drop maybe some flowers in here. We'll see. I had to chuckle last night when we were playing. My one player, the monk, totally forgot that at the end of last session, he had 1 hit point left. Now, generally, at the end of a session, we finish combat. I'll always give you time. I'll say, is there anything you want to do before we move to next session or next combat or whatever may be coming up? And, they opted not to do anything last session. Well, instead of looking at their character sheet to see that, 1 hit point may not be the best condition to go into combat with, they open a room. Fortunately, it's like a barracks filled with bugbear, which normally, excuse me 1 second. Sorry about that. Normally that would be problematic for a party, possibly, but I mean, they're level 13 characters, so while a barracks full of, I think there were like 30 bugbear in there, may sound daunting, the one caster, the sorceress in the group, she threw a fireball in there and wiped out half of them in the first freaking turn. So his turn comes and he rushes to the front of the fray like he always does. And fortunately, he wasn't getting hit. All of a sudden, middle of combat, he goes, wait a minute, I've only got 1 hit point. And the other players are like, well, that was pretty dumb of you. And so he backed up and started using his bow. And I think second round, the healer finally was able to go ahead and cast heal because they had cleared off. It was basically a real bottleneck. They opened the barracks door, and all these bugbears start jumping into the fray. And it did make for some interesting combat. Fortunately, it was only like a 2-round combat. And I tell you what, it was kind of crazy. We had one player with the flu, that was the monk. Another one had just had a bunch of teeth removed, or wisdom teeth plus like 5 others last week, and she was still under the weather from that. But everybody wanted to play. So it was fun. Try to make some of this stuff, as random as we can. I think these things are setting on user layer too, so I think I need to drop. If I'm dropping, ooh, wait a minute, where the hell are they? User layer 4 maybe? Where the hell are they? If they're sitting above roofs, that's not good. That's fine. I should. I'll tell you what. All right, let's grab our mouse. Because we can't have this. What I need to do is capture all of this. Let's get what we can without grabbing that tree. And we're not able to move the layer on this. What is going on? I guess we have to do this individually. Would have been nice if we could not have to do it that way. And that's one of the things you have to be careful with this program when you start doing stuff like when you're laying down a chimney. Obviously, that's above the roof. You want to show the full chimney, not have half of it buried under the roof because it just looks stupid. So, you know, that's what we were doing a lot of before I guess we came back in the next day and started mapping. All right, I think the shadows are in the right place. There we go. And there's no reason that we wouldn't have growth happening around these stones. So I think we're going to go ahead and have some growth invasion here. See, and we didn't have this issue with these bushes, so kind of amusing. If we put some bushes to cover portions of this, kind of hides the fact that you only have so many assets to work with. After I just said you've got to look at that, I went ahead and didn't look at it. That was a boss move right there. We're going to reopen this thing. Getting a wee bit slow. There you go. Squirrel is busy harassing the dogs. All right, I want to take a look, see what this thing's starting to look like without our trace on here. Hey, Robert Moore, how's it going? Hopefully, you're having a good Thursday. Glad to hear it. We're slowly getting this map completed. It's the only way to really get these assets that, I mean, you always have a limited number of assets like this. So you try to do some stuff to cover up all over the place. Hold on one second. Let me give it about 2 minutes, then I'll get up to go pick my daughter up. Yes, we have 7 birds. Two we got when my mom passed, and a bunch that I am sure will pass on to my kids, and they'll get cursed with them when we pass. Because they live for freaking ever. I mean, both the birds we got from my mom, it's an African gray and a yellow front, they're over 30 years old. And I know my macaw will outlive me. And we're not gonna worry too much about this bush placement yet. We're just trying to make a little bit of cover. Like I said, there are only like 15 of these wrecked stone assets. We'll come back and start spreading out and randomizing just a little bit more. But let's face it, this stuff's old enough to actually be ruins. Nature's going to come on in and fill in that space. Zoom out. So we've got to sweep through here, do the same thing, and then we'll start spreading out some more. We got to be careful here. That there. A bit more stuff here. Do that. It's usually things like these points that are the most recognizable as repeats. So that's what we try to cover up and create a change in the gap there. So here's another point. All right, I'm going to throw on my be right back screen. I'll be about 10 minutes, and then we'll get back and work on finishing this damn map. It was worth it. It was so fucking worth it. Here, let's try it. I like that. Oh, shit.
Spy plane available for tasking. Spy plane is there overhead.
Die! We got it to work that time. I knew we could do that, catch an arrow and shoot it back. That was the first.
We're full ahead.
How'd you fucking feel?
Yoda made it look easy because Yoda's a dick.
Enemy spy plane inbound.
His head was just popping up. Room in here with the computer and everything running, it's always warm. The wife's like, I want to go in the warm room. I'm like, no, you can't come into the warm room. You know, it's one of my rules. Anyone rude gets killed in a game. And he was rude.
What's going on here?
And it's funny because that's been the Mercer effect has been the nightmare for Megs. Let's see. Look, I don't even have to move it much. There's Thor. He's actually sitting up. That's all the excitement you get. Oh! How did we not get messed up there? How did that even happen? Generally, I'm going to say no. Dad is not good at this game. But I still play it.
Enemies destroyed. Napalm strike awaiting orders.
Hostile spy plane is still overhead.
Spy plane commencing surveillance operation.
Like I said, you gotta tickle the spot. It's like finding the map's G-spot. God damn it. Oh, fuck! Yeah, we need to separate.
I've always thought. Hey. Hold on. You're mine. Oh. Ah. Die. God's justice away.
Enemy counter spy plane inbound.
Oh my god, we're both reloading!
Counter-strike deployment.
They're pissed right now.
Counter spy plane is.
Ah, it was worth
Hardpoint is
it.
secure.
It was so fucking worth it. Here, let's try it. I like that. Oh shit.
Spy plane available for tasking. Spy plane is there overhead.
Die! We got it to work that time. I knew we could do that, catch an arrow and shoot it back. But that was the first.
We're full ahead.
How'd you fucking feel?
Yoda made it look easy because Yoda's a dick.
Enemy spy plane inbound.
His head was just popping up. Room in here with the computer and everything running, it's always warm. The wife's like, I want to go in the warm room. I'm like, no, you can't come into the warm room. You know, it's one of my rules. Anyone rude gets killed in a game. And he was rude.
What's going on here?
And it's funny because that's been the Mercer effect has been the nightmare for Eggs. Let's see. Look, I don't even have to move it much. There's Thor. He's actually sitting up. That's all the excitement you get. Oh! How did we not get messed up there? How did that even happen? Generally, I'm going to say no. Dad is not good at this game. But I still play it.
Enemies destroyed. Napalm strike awaiting orders.
Hostile spy plane is still overhead.
Spy plane commencing surveillance operation.
Like I said, you gotta tickle the spot. It's like finding the map's G-spot. God damn it. Oh, fuck! Yeah, we need to separate.
I've always thought. Hey. Hold on. You're mine. Oh. Ah. Die. God's justice away!
Enemy counter spy plane inbound.
Oh my god, we're both reloading!
Counter-spy plane deployment.
They're pissed right now.
Counter-spy plane is...
Ah, it was worth
Hardpoint is
it.
secure.
It was so fucking worth it. Here, let's try it. I like that. Oh shit.
Spy plane available for tasking. Spy plane is overhead.
Die! We got it to work that time. I knew we could do that, catch an arrow and shoot it back. But that was the first.
We're full ahead.
How'd you fucking feel?
Yoda made it look easy because Yoda's a dick.
Enemy spy plane inbound.
His head was just popping up. Room in here with the computer and everything running, it's always warm. The wife's like, I want to go in the warm room. I'm like, no, you can't come into the warm room. You know, it's one of my rules. Anyone rude gets killed in a game. And he was rude.
What's going on here?
And it's funny because that's been the Mercer effect has been the nightmare for Mags. Let's see. Look, I don't even have to move it much. There's Thor. He's actually sitting up. That's all the excitement you get. Oh! How did we not get messed up there? How did that even happen? Generally, I'm going to say no. Dad is not good at this game. But I still play it.
Enemies destroyed. Napalm strike awaiting orders.
Hostile spy plane is just overhead.
Spy plane commencing surveillance operation.
Like I said, you gotta tickle the spot. It's like finding the map's G-spot. God damn it. Oh, fuck! Yeah, we need to separate.
I've always thought Chan. Hold on. You're mine! Oh! Ah. Die! God's justice away!
Enemy counter spy plane inbound.
Oh my god, we're both reloading!
Counter-strike plane under deployment.
They're pissed right now.
Counter spy plane is.
Ah, it was worth
Hardpoint is
it.
secure.
It was so fucking worth it. Here, let's try it. I like that. Oh shit.
Spy plane available for tasking. Spy plane is there.
Die, 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 die! We got it to work that time. I knew we could do that, catch an arrow and shoot it back. That was the first.
We're full ahead.
How'd you fucking feel?
Yoda made it look easy because Yoda's a dick.
Enemy spy plane inbound.
Ah, his head was just popping up. Room in here with the computer and everything running, it's always warm. The wife's like, I want to go in the warm room. I'm like, no, you can't come into the warm room. You know, it's one of my rules. Anyone rude gets killed in a game. And he was rude.
What's going on here?
And it's funny because that's been the Mercer effect has been the nightmare for eggs. Let's see. Look, I don't even have to move it much. There's Thor. He's actually sitting up. That's all the excitement you get. Oh! How did we not get messed up there? How did that even happen? Generally, I'm going to say no. Dad is not good at this game. But I still play it.
Enemies destroyed. Napalm strike awaiting orders.
All right, we're back. So, I see Robert Moore put something up talking about large fields. Here's the one thing that I have to point out. All I'm doing is reproducing this map. So, you know, this is how Phandalin is set up. It's got, what, 1, 2... You know, these farms here, and that's it. So, since we're reproducing this town, we're not making changes to how it looks or the structure of the town. It is simply going to be the way it was laid out by the people that made the map for the actual module. And there's one more up here. So, you know, those are the farms that they have, and I guess they make do. Let's turn the opacity down, and we'll continue bushing this place up. Yeah, I mean, if I was building my own town, I would worry about stuff like that. But the fact that we are, you know, this is not really our map. We're prepping it to run Lost Mine. It's, you know, this is more a matter of let's make the map the way it was designed. So that's what we're doing. Yeah, honestly, it's the only thing we really worry about when we're reproducing these maps for something like one of these adventures. And that is a goal we have right now, is to get quite a few of those printed adventures all mapped out and set up so that they're coded and easy to play on for running them. Here we go. Another wall that needs to be fixed. I think we missed a path right here. Oh, oh, why is that coming up like that? Oh, there it is. Come on. Why is it bouncing like that? So you hold shift, you try to click it, and it doesn't like it. So I'd say that might be a pretty major tablet flaw right there. Let's try it now. All right, so we picked up that. All right. All right, let's take a look at what we have now. I want to see if they give us a description of the town green. Probably not, but you know what? Let's flip and check. All right, characters can visit multiple locations. Stonehill Inn, Barthen's Provisions, Ettermath Orchard. Joining Order of the Gauntlet, the Miners Exchange. There's a farm, the Shrine of Luck, Sleeping Giant, Tressendar Manor. So no real description of the green. I think we're going to lightly bush that and leave it as is. I am committed to getting this map relatively finished. Or actually finished. Let's be honest. Really need an easy button to flip from over to under, but that's not a keystroke, I don't think. Probably on the roof again. This thing starts to jitter like this, and I feel like I've got to go in and, repeatedly save just so we don't have a crash. We're going to reopen and, the dogs aren't in here today. I should just turn that damn camera off. Mama's home, so they don't visit. Oh, it's a bet. Roof? I mean, this is first time on these maps that I've had an issue with this because I generally don't worry about that many layers. We've been doing a massive dungeon crawl, and you know that's like a totally different creature. We're just seeding this out as the birds would fly. Thanks. How's it going, Liquid Snake? This is, I'm going to be honest, this is the part where, you start to get a little bit punchy. It's a big ass map and you're trying to bush the thing in and everything else. So now we're just kind of mapping as the bird would fly. Since something like these bushes and all, that's going to be, people don't want to admit it, but let's face it, bird droppings are the random cause for these seeds a lot of times. We're going to hopefully finish this one up. Then we're going to start worrying about getting the individual buildings done. And I know, if you're familiar with the Phandelver module, they really don't plan for the players to go into most of these places, like the Miners Exchange, and a lot of the buildings there. But I'm gonna map the whole town out. Yeah, these big maps can definitely drive you a little bit nuts. I actually today unplugged my XP pen and put in my Intuos Pro that I've had forever. Plugged that in, so I'm using my monitor instead of. I get a real tendency on that graphic tablet to hunch over really bad, and just get in close. So got to get used to the disconnect again between the old school tablet and try you know if you're familiar with the tablets, you know that like the Intuos Pro that Wacom makes. I mean, it's not cheap and it's not a bad tablet. It's just, everybody's gotten to where now they want to have the screen and everything. Oh, because it's on layer 3. And I'm leaning towards going back to using this just for posture, and I was using the other one in a combination of mouse and keyboard. I'm going to admit, get done the end of the day after doing that stuff, your wrist isn't very happy with you either. And this isn't that bad since we're not actually doing drawing. Now, I think the issue I'm going to have with this is it's a 2013 tablet, maybe a little bit later, that I got like in 2016. And I'm noticing some driver issues. So I may look at another, pen tablet and move back to, the old style tablets again, just for my comfort. But this is nowhere near as bad as when we were doing the Dungeon of the Mad Mage. Those maps were huge, heinous beasts. I was so happy because my mapping was done like just on Wednesdays. That project took me like 2 years to finish. And I still feel like, I mean, there's a map I'm playing on right now for my party that I didn't remap. And I'm leaning towards going in and remapping that thing. I don't know if you do that. You come back and look at your old maps, and they're just not as good as your newer ones that you've done. And you're like, you know what? I need to redo that whole section of maps that I did then. And I'll keep the old ones for posterity's sake, but you know, I don't want to run on them. We might have this thing almost bushed in. Then we have to figure out what we want to do next to make it look a little more complete. Or maybe just sit back and say, you know what? It's complete enough because this is just an overview map. It's not even something the players are going to be able to go on. This is going to be your, you know, show it on a screen. Say this is where you are. This is where you're coming in. These are your places. And I'm going to set it up using levels, and there are a couple other things that I've added that I'm going to test on my test server. So I can click it, pull it into like the map of the Miners Exchange. Or let's say the, where's the, I mean, the one possible encounter is right there? No? Right there. Yeah, the, this grungy bar. So, and I may remap this bar now. All right, let me put this up. Let's zoom out, see if there's any blatant places we missed and haven't populated with stuff. Zoom in and see how it's looking. We decided to break up these ruins with bushes so that it's not so obvious you're using the exact same. There we go. We need to do this one. So it's not so obvious you're using the exact. Damn it. I bet. Oh my God. If this is on the roofs. Yeah, it is. I got to fix that real quick. We came in and we mapped some of this stuff after we had repaired some stuff on the roof, and then we didn't fix it. So all these things are above roof, so I got to drop them down to user layer 1. Somehow I had accidentally moved some chimneys and stuff. I repaired them, then I'm like, hey, let's forget to click that button. So technically, these are all floating high up in the air. So what are you using for your mapping, Liquid Snake? What program? Using something like Dungeondraft? Are you using something like Photoshop or an art program to actually go in and do it that way? How are you choosing to do it? All right, now we can drop our bushes. I've found so many of these. That one's got to be sitting up in the air too. How did I miss that? This one, right? Yeah, Tailspire is still I think my complaint with Tailspire is it's so blocky looking when it's done. Um, you know what I mean? Now, here, I'm going to... Will I be able to show it? Somebody was in stream yesterday talking about this, so I went ahead and said screw it and bought it. It's... I mean, it's like Tailspire. It's not mature. It doesn't have a ton of assets. I mean, it's got 1,500 assets, but... Oh my God, what's going on here? Where's my mouse? This is awful. There we go. I'm going to move this screen so I can actually pop it. Yeah, Dungeon Alchemist. So I just picked that up yesterday. That's going to pop on another screen, so I'm going to have to... Let's do it this way. Add... Let's see if Game Capture will pick it up. Let me fix this. Yeah, it doesn't. I was messing with it yesterday. I've got to drop this to the bottom. All right. All right, so there's Dungeon Alchemist. I'll turn this way. And so I mean it's kind of like Tailspire in a way. If you want, you can build up and down. I mean, I think the attraction to this is, let's say you needed just a random castle or something. You could come in and basically create your map pretty quickly. You could drop an entrance here. And of course it didn't put the entrance facing the way I wanted it. But then let's see what we'd want to, how do we want to do this? So there you are coming in your entrance. Then you'd have the throne room wouldn't be the first thing you would come into. Let's throw a barracks off to the side here. And we're not going to worry about making it look great or anything. Let's just, and this is with the AI on. There's your coach house. You know, you'd have to throw a door out there. I mean, personally, what I would prefer to do is just turn off auto and create the rooms and then adjust the walls. What I don't like is every room changes the walls and floor, so I'd have to go back in and redo it. I think the idea behind it is good, but there we go. We're going to do it on dark parchment. We'll create it at 40 by 40. So it'd be fairly big. You do it for digital, then you can expand the grid size. But, you know, I would rather run it this way and bring in, you know, my entrance here. Then it'll, you know, there it drops down your what? Your gate, your entrance. Then you could create your hallway coming in. But again, this change of wall and floor texture every time is just like maddening to me. Let's say you wanted this to be your throne room. And if we did the same thing, let's go ahead and do the same thing over here. And let's see what direction they throw the entrance in. Yeah. So, I mean, I think an advanced user could take advantage of it if you didn't use the AI. You brought in blank rooms. You started building it out. Now, you can edit everything here. So, if you're not happy with the walls, the doors, and all that kind of stuff, you can edit that stuff. It's just, you know, the AI looks attractive until you actually start building. Liquid Snake, thank you for following. But you know what I mean? It's for me, this is maddening. The fact that, you know, you create a map size and it just throws shit down instead of putting it where you need it to be when you do the AI. Because at this point, I would have to, you know, I put it over here and most of the map is over there. So I don't, and maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think there's a way to spin this thing. You know, you can resize it. You can edit the room shape. You can refresh the room. You can get rid of it. But if it bothers you that, you know, you can't spin that, I mean, that's a pretty basic function, being able to spin what you placed. And it's not there. So, plus you don't have the ability, on a 3D map, you should have the ability to have your multi-floors and, you know, a whole bunch of stuff that we don't have for that. So, it looks promising, but I mean, I'm kind of the mindset that you know, at this point, it's like Tailspire, where it's fun to play with, but you know, and the fact that when you're done, if you wanted to do a quickie, you could do a real quick thing, and it'll export the map as a 2D map with the doors, walls, and everything intact. That's awesome, but you know, they're just issues. I mean, yeah, you could come in, make a tavern. Um, let's see what the AI creates for us. So we're going to build a tavern. Let's say this is the main hall where you're going to sit there and get drunk. There you go. Create a bar for us. Yeah, created a bar, a set of steps in a place that makes no sense whatsoever. I mean, look at that. These steps against the bar make no sense. They just don't. This being over there, you know, I'm dubious about that. Okay, but let's keep building it. Let's do a brewery over here. Let's see where they put the door. I'm curious. If it's right against the steps, that'll be absolutely perfect. But it's not. It's right there. But there's your brewery, right? And then, you know, you need the pantry and stuff to be behind the barkeep so he can pull food and what he needs. But again, you also have the barkeep who's perpetually trapped behind the bar. He's a slave at the bar, so he can't leave. Let's see where the entrance to the latrine will show up when we build it. Well, it moved one of the barrels out of the way, so you can go in and use the latrine there. Yeah, the stairs to nowhere, the bar of entrapment, and then, hold on. Let's create a couple of bedrooms here. There's a ladder here that has no reason for being. See, at least the guest rooms are a little bit different. So you've got some bedrooms. You know, what's up with the ladder? I don't know. So, I mean, you can make a quick random map that makes no sense whatsoever, and it'll work. I think with the assets and stuff you have, you could build a halfway decent map. But you know, you'd still have a bunch of work. And again, here's part of my complaint. This is all the same building, and look, it's like they had psychotic builders who couldn't make up their mind what walls and floors they wanted to use. You know, every room has different set of walls. Every area has different doors. You know, there should be a little bit of consistency there. Not, and I didn't even notice, but you know, until I put this room back here, there was no entrance to get into the fucking bar. So, I mean, you'd have to come in and let's see. Let's see if we can place a door. I don't really care about the door. So there, we placed a door. It's got a door now. And, you know, this would bother the hell out of me. So I would have to go in and change out the walls. So let's be consistent. And it did everything except the front. So right there, so I mean, it's not horribly hard to make your changes. I just feel like it shouldn't be absolutely randomizing everything. That's just me, though. And let's face it, these stairs, it's got a door so you can go downstairs to nowhere. And then it's, you can't do anything there. So you could come in and theoretically fix everything, which it doesn't take that long. I mean, you saw how relatively quickly, I mean, we didn't finish these walls, but we could have clicked on those, fixed those walls, and then we'd have our consistent walls and we'd be happy. In fact, for interior walls, you could keep these for exterior, but I'm afraid, let's see what happens if we try to change this wall into a proper interior wall. I bet it screws with so stone. I bet it screws with us seriously. Let's check. Let's do some paneled walls. All right, so that paneled the inside and kept the exterior walls the same. Let's see what it does here. That's actually nice right there. So if we click on the inside, it changes the inside walls to the paneling. The outside walls stay with the plaster. So that's not bad. I'm not going to complain about that. So if you really wanted everything to be paneled, you could come in and fix that. But yeah, the stairs to nowhere, let's see if we can actually get those gone. So at this point, it's not totally heinous. We're semi-happy, except for the stairs. So let's see what we can do to edit our objects. Move rooms, edit room. Place objects. We need this thing gone. How do we get rid of something? See, all I'm seeing is we can remove the room. Let's see, decoration, food and drink, furniture, nature, structural. So that's stairs. But see, that's just it. It's not letting me select the object. I have a feeling because we did AI, it's not going to let us select that object. But like we said, as a quickie, that's not horrible. I mean, it's not awesome, but edit room, AI on, select a room. So that's selected that room, tavern, great hall. So we're going to do that. And then we're going to flip it again back to Great Hall. And let's see if we get the stairs to nowhere again. See, now we have a bar without a barkeep and a couple of ladders to nowhere. That one makes a little more sense because the stairs could go somewhere. Let's keep refreshing and see what we get. No bar still. See, now that time the stairs make sense, kind of, behind the bar. And now we've got a piano, which honestly doesn't make sense for the time period. The bar in the middle of the room makes no sense. We're having fun with this. And the chest on the floor, why? This time, the bar next to the table where the barkeep would be standing. It's actually pretty funny. The bar by the entrance, with the barkeep standing to people as they come in. Come on, give me a room that makes sense. They just can't place the bar in the right place anymore. And, oh, stairs you can't get to. Stairs are a real issue on this. I mean, if it would place things where it makes sense, then, yeah, that would be a little bit nicer. But, I feel like, you know, maybe I'm missing something, but I can't select objects. There, we put a 5x5 bedroom there. I'd say not being able to select objects is pretty big on my list of things that this needs. So maybe I need to go in and mess with or look at some of the tutorial videos to see how you can select shit and take it out. Other than that, I'm a little confused about what it's building, if I'm going to be honest. But I think we had too much fun with those stairs, because the stairs made no sense. All right. But I do think as time goes on that will end up being more usable. This is a problem. Look at, oh, that's a well. I thought it was a chimney that moved. So let's look at this without the trace image, and let's see if we're happy with this as just a... Because this is not, like I said, players can't really move around on this. This is just your, hey, this is what Phandelver looks like. You know, they're going to come into town and start going places. And I don't think I'm going to label these buildings. I'll be honest. I think we're going to call this one done. We could worry about putting in like flowers and all kinds of stuff, but we're not doing that. I think it looks complete enough. Close enough for government work. I think we spent a good chunk of the week on this. Let's save again. Now, if we really wanted to, you know what? I don't think I'm going to do that though. I mean, we took all the trouble with the trees to do this. What did we do? We used 40%, I think, for those shadows. Hey, how's it going? I think we're finally done. I think we're finally done with this map. We could come in all these bushes, but the problem is that might take us the rest of our life. And I don't think, I mean, the shadows make a difference, but I don't think they're making that big a difference that we need to do every single bush. So we've got our elevations, we've got every building put in, we have all the rubble around. We decided to plant bushes around that to break up the fact that we have a limited number of assets there. I think we're good. I think one more thing we can put in. I have to remember which one this is. There we go. The Tower of the Teeth. Sounds cool. All right, let's put this here. Are we happy with that? I'm pretty sure that's where it was anyway, but let's make sure. Yeah, their compass rose was over there. And we're not going to put notes on here for the houses. We're going to do that inside of Dungeondraft, because the idea we have is to place markers that the DM will see that we can click and send people there. Now, what level were they doing that? Okay. All right, we're going to save again. I think we're going to export this as a JPEG. That's a big freaking map. We need to reduce it. It's still going to be big. You know what? Our players that have max and can't see over 8192 pixels are just going to be out of luck. We're doing it. We knew this was going to be a big map. See the file size on that WebP image real quick. So it's 14.8 megabytes. And that's how it looks. I think that's not horrible. We'll have to check it and see inside of Dungeondraft how the image looks, but I think that works. Let's see how the JPEG image looks. Let's find some clues that point toward a nearby mountain. Let me read it over here. Where a large tower made entirely out of gleaming white bone has been erected. 4 encounters. 3 easy, various skeletons made by the necromancer, and the last one, a final encounter, is battle against skeleton of an ancient golden dragon. Bones glitter in sunlight. If I was commanded, let's run the game. I had few ground rules. I had to change small bits when I sent them the one shot. Basically, all the skeletons had to explicitly be washed in acid. What do you mean the place had a few ground rules? Were you running it like in a store or some location like that? Why would a library care that it was just bones washed in acid? That's strange. So I'm thinking what we might do is map to scale something like this zone. So we have the ruffian hideout and the couple of places that they can go to. Maybe map it like that. And then do the individual buildings. Because they need to have a place to walk around in. That's just kind of odd that they'd be like, did they specify that the bones had to have been washed in acid? Because that's kind of a weird request. I mean, I I would just be like, I don't get that graphic. You smash the skeleton, it falls to bits on the ground, and you attack the next one. I I don't I've never found it necessary to be explicit in my descriptions of how you kill stuff. You know what I mean? But we need to export this without the grid. It's like I said, the characters can't walk around on this map. And unfortunately, some of the players won't be able to see it. Come on, finish saving. Do it. Do it. Do it. It's freezing. Definitely looks better without the grid. We're going to do the JPEG as well that way because this is not a map they can walk around on. I'm going to Do I have it open? So I think I'm gonna bring in images. Name a folder handouts. Oh, that. Oh, ew. I'm gonna. I'm gonna pull this over. That is fugly. So I'm gonna have to do it. See, we weren't careful with how we brought it in, so it skewed the image. So let's redo this. So I'm gonna need to. This is gonna be huge. That was awful. Let's see. Properties. 10,000 by 6,800. So that's what I need. Let's try this again. So we're going to do this. Then we need to create the image. Choose File. Select. Open. Then we, because we have that, we do this. And see, it's creating this weird thing, but it's 6,800. I wonder if I can cut this down a little bit. Let's do it this way. Let's do 5,000 by 3,400. See, it did it automatically. There we go. It's still not bringing it in right. That doesn't make sense. All right. I'm gonna finish doing this, and then I'm gonna get off since we're done with the map. I don't get why it's doing that. We're gonna have to figure that out. All right. Everybody have a great rest of your day. We're gonna go ahead and work out this we're gonna work out this issue offline, figure out why the image is not coming in properly. Maybe I need to bring it in as a JPEG. I'm not sure. But we'll figure this out. Once we have it figured out, we'll go ahead and show you what it looks like, and then we'll start building the rest of it so we can set up our links and have everything linked together. But that'll be it for now. Everybody have a great rest of your day, and we'll catch you tomorrow.